The fight that we have all been waiting for is finally taking place on July 29th in Las Vegas, Nevada. In the state of boxing with a lot of BS politics, this fight took a lot longer than expected to be made, but we have finally got it. Undefeated 3 Division Champion Terence Crawford versus undefeated unified welterweight champion Errol Spence Jr. Both of these fighters are top 5 pound for pound in the world, so this matchup is going to be a high-level war. With that being said, let's break it down. Terence Crawford is a hard-punching switch hitter fighting out of Omaha, Nebraska. Crawford won the WBO NABO lightweight title by quite literally folding Alejandro Sanabria on the HBO After Dark card.
Left hook, hard punch for a guy to stop.
You see the grin emerging on Crawford's face as he watches Sanabria somersaulting on the floor.
Then went on to win the WBO lightweight title in a fight against Ricky Burns. In his first title defense, he knocked out the undefeated Cuban amateur standout Yuriokis Gamboa in the 9th round. After this, Crawford would make the move up to 140 pounds where he won the WBO super lightweight title by defeating Thomas Dulorme by 6-round TKO after a real dogfight where Dulorme gave Crawford some problems.
Just to let you know I can hit you whenever I get ready.
Individuals fight on ESPN.
You cry the horn now.
So I'm going to be careful because Romero is a big puncher.
Good right over Terence Crawford in terms of punches landed. And that was
Now you say you're lonely. Now
big here in 6 for Terence Crawford. He's measuring and tattooing Dulorme in the corner.
you cry the horn now.
This is what you want to see in a good champion. He's not just strictly head holding the hands that got hurt. He's going to the head and the body.
It's pretty clear from those first 5 rounds, Crawford studied up and now knows every single thing he has to do.
After a few title defenses at 140, he would go on to unify with WBC 140-pound champion Victor Postol, where he won that fight by unanimous decision after having to make adjustments to counter Postol's style as early as in round 1, doing things such as feinting and circling out so that Postol doesn't get his feet set, and staying in southpaw and parrying Postol's lead hand to fire his own jab, which made it hard for Postol to get anything going. It is also worth mentioning Postol will be the last man to go the distance with Crawford, as 2 fights later, Crawford knocked out the WBA and IBF champion Julius Indago to become the 3rd male 4-belt undisputed champion in the history of the sport. Crawford will make the move up to welterweight, take Jeff Horn's WBO belt, and rack up a couple of defenses against decent names and even former Errol Spence opponents, winning them all by knockout of course, and that leads up to here. If Crawford wants to win this fight, he should look to try to use his long reach to keep Spence at bay with his jab while offsetting Spence's jab, similar to how Sean Porter did in his fight against Spence. Crawford should do this to try to frustrate Spence and make him make a mistake using his ring IQ to set up power punches and traps in order to break Spence down and get the knockout later on in the fight or rack up points en route to a decision win. Errol Spence Jr. is a hard-hitting, body-punching phenom out of Dallas, Texas. Spence also had a similar upbringing in the pro game as Terence Crawford, fighting contenders for the first 5 years of his pro career before getting the opportunity to fight for the IBF welterweight title against Kell Brook. And like Crawford, he had to travel to Brook's backyard in Sheffield, England, where he was able to use his body shots and pressure to knock Brook down, knocking Brook down in the 10th and then in the next round in the 11th to finish him. After this win, Spence will go on to face some really good opponents. In fact, the overall record of those opponents he's faced since then is a whopping 189-11, defeating the likes of Danny Garcia, Mikey Garcia, and Sean Porter to unify the WBC and IBF titles, and even unifying once again by defeating tough Cuban Yordenis Ugas by fracturing his orbital and winning by TKO in the 10th round to add the WBA title to his collection.
Errol Spence, this is his 3rd fight at
that leads us here. If Errol Spence wants to win this fight, he's going to want to draw Crawford into a firefight where he could work his inside game and the body to slow Crawford down while applying the relentless pressure that he always does. Overall, looking to tire Crawford out in order to steal late rounds for a decision win. This is a true 50-50 fight. Both guys have exquisite boxing skills. Both guys can fight. Both guys do kind of like hand speed, but they make up for it with their ability to crack. Crawford's last fight was against David Amnesian in December of last year, where he knocked him out cold in front of his home crowd. And Spence's last fight was in April of last year, where he broke Yordenis Ugas's orbital in front of his home crowd in Dallas, Texas. Thank you guys for watching, and that is all I have for you guys, and I hope you guys enjoy this great matchup.